Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ooh, yes, here we go. We hopped up on that bus. Bert, Chill, Hight, Roger and Law, we crushing friendly Gus. Bulldog vision, all these boys see is red. What a crappy life, R.I.P. Ed. Heights GMC, you're collecting all the dust. We want the smoke, so come fired up with us.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. We are your first and your only source for below average, mediocre sports coverage. Glad you're here with us this morning. We've got a small group with us, just me and the guy to my right. But my name is Chill. I am the guy that's got the slumped over, the bad posture. I am the guy, Hight, that has the hair that is just falling out daily in the front, toupee status, but is hanging on. So let me bring on the guy beside me. I've already said his name, but he is a UGA graduate. He is a diehard dog. He can make a bottle of mouthwash stink. Thinks he's a 10, but he's really a 2.5. The pride of Buddy Johnson Road, Adam Hightower.
What's up, Chili?
What's up, bud? So,
just a faithful few this morning.
The faithful few, man, the ones that are ride or die, that rarely miss. Me and Hight, we got Raji and Law out. They were unable to be here this morning, and it was the only morning of the week that was going to work for us. So, hey, the bus stops for no one, and here we are. But you look good, man. Haircut looks good.
Thanks. Mullet's flowing.
I wish Raji was here to see it, because I'm sure he would love to see.
He would.
There's nothing like a fresh cut mullet.
I sent him a Snapchat over the weekend, and he screenshot it for some reason. Of my hair, and he said it was
for some reason. I wonder what that reason was.
Yeah, well, he said that was his personal album of my hair.
I'm surprised it hadn't made it into a group chat yet. But if you're watching, guys, on TV 35, thank you for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, anywhere else you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure, can't you already spit it out this morning, be sure to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, it's in the bottom of the screen down there. Click that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us what you think about the show, but we are glad that you're joining in with us this week.
You know who we rarely give shout out to is our TV 35 listeners and watchers. Hey, thanks.
Hey, give them a shout out.
TV 35. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, noon and 6 a.m. sharp on Saturdays. Some would call that prime time. That's what we're going to call it. So make sure you join in and catch the show there. And yeah, you can find us on. I saw it on the YouTube page the other day. So if you don't have 35, that's fine. They have a YouTube channel that you can also access us there. We want them to know that you're watching us on there. So, as we said, just me and Hight this morning. So, being you got your Georgia shirt on today, and we don't have any Florida State to talk about. We're going to talk a little Georgia football this morning, a little Braves baseball. We've got a guest picker calling in later this morning to make some guest picks for us for the college games this weekend. But I want to know, because it's such a hot topic, and on Facebook was going rampant the other day during the game, and it seems like that it's been that way through the first three games, but about Bobo. So let's just start there and tell the people kind of like where you at on Bobo right now. Through three games.
I'm fine with Bobo. I don't have a problem with Bobo. Bobo's going to be fine. Georgia's going to be fine. Carson Beck is a good quarterback, I think. I have seen all the people, the armchair quarterbacks, the people that are probably never coached football or coached just a little bit of football, who don't know anything about football still. I mean, they've never been in there, making game plans and spending hours and hours watching film. And so I don't care what those people think. It's annoying to me that they get on Facebook all the time and rant like they actually know what they're talking about, or like somebody cares what they think.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, have I also been that guy?
I was just thinking that a little bit. But
did I question letting Step play over JT Daniels? Yes, I did. But if you'll recall, what was my conclusion that I came to?
Trust Kirby.
Nobody wants to win more than Kirby.
That's true.
So,
and that hadn't changed.
No. And Mike Bobo his offenses have always put up points. When he was the OC at Georgia previously, if he'd had a better defense behind him, they'd have won a lot more ball games, because they put up plenty of points to win games with the defense. Willie Martinez and Todd Grantham and them other dudes that were there, they didn't do a great job of keeping the game in hand. So I'm good with Bobo. I'm not worried a bit.
So what do you say to the? I'm with you. I think I'm like you're saying. I'm a high school teacher. I'm not a college football coach. Kirby does that for a living. When Monken left after we won back-to-back national championships, there may not have been a better offensive job come available,
right?
Which means we could have got anybody we wanted. And so if Kirby thought that Bobo and we got some of our friends even say, man, he's a homeboy. He's just his.
Well, that's true.
Buddies,
he is that,
and he's going to treat his buddies. But at the end of the day, like you said, Kirby wants to win more than above all else. I think above friendships. And so I think if there was somebody else that he thought suited us better, they would have got the job.
Anybody that we got was going to be a step down from Monken.
Yeah.
So it's hard to replace a guy like Monken because he was, I feel like, the best OC in college football.
No doubt. Yep.
So
you just felt different.
And all these people, they don't understand how there's, I guess they don't understand how there's going to be a drop off, but we still have the players and the ability to win ball games. So
when I was watching the game Saturday, the first half, we'll speak to that in a little bit. It was not fun to watch. It was hard to watch, actually, just in general. And I don't know. I think Beck is 100% the guy right now. I don't think it's anybody else.
He looks good to me.
But there's just something, and everybody gave Stet such a hard time. But I had when Stet was on the field, I just felt like we were going to score. I felt like we were going to move the ball down the field, and I didn't have as much doubt as I have early on with Carson Beck. And now it's early, and again, he's done great. It's just a feeling inside. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when I watch him play, I think he's fine. He's fine. He's got the tools. He can run a little bit. We saw that Saturday. He moved. He got out of the pocket and ran for some yards, and he threw the ball well. I thought he made good decisions. One thing I will say about him, my kids, they do not understand why he looks the way he looks.
Man, he's ugly.
Every time they put his picture on TV, my kids, they laugh and they say, "Daddy, why does he look like that?" And he's
not pretty.
No, bless him.
I can't tell if the haircut made it better or worse. I mean, dude's got a dome.
Yeah, bless his heart.
But hey, good for him. I tell you what, he is. He's QB1 at UGA.
Yes, he is.
So, what do you think the slow starts? What do you as a coach? What do you?
Well, I would attribute it to we've got some injuries that are plaguing us at running back. Our best guys have been banged up. DeJuan Edwards, is that how you say his name? DeJuan?
Sure.
Okay.
Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, man.
Just got number 30.
He's been banged up. He finally got in last weekend.
That was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and led the team in rushing, over 100 yards. So, I mean, there you go. You get your best running back and he's over 100 yards. Where's your complaints? And if Kirby ball is, if you can run the ball and win, that's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to be able to throw the ball, we'll do that. But first option is run the ball.
And it's proven to be a recipe of success for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're 3-0, and when as hard as it is to watch, and again for us and for all these armchair quarterbacks, you're coming off of watching Monken, who is arguably one of the best to do it, and was very creative and just had all kind of different stuff. And so you sit there in a game like even the first three, even though the first two were nobodies, and at the end of the game you're like, man, we're terrible. Like we can't. And then you check the stat sheet, and it's like, okay, yeah, I think before the South Carolina game they had the rushing attempts and yards compared to last year, and it was literally identical except for like 1 yard.
And I saw Carson Beck's stats, and he is like top 5 in. I can't remember if it was the SEC, like passer efficiency and completion percentage and Pro Football Focus, NFL ratings and all this. He was top 5 in every category. So, he has been very efficient, very accurate with the football. He's distributed ball well to a bunch of multiple receivers. So everything's good, man. I'm not worried about it.
What from the defensive side of the ball, do you think our defense is better than it has been the last couple of years? And I know we've had
I don't know about that. I mean, it might be. I think we're really good. It might be too early to tell. You would like to think that the DBs are continuing to get better because they were young. A lot of young guys are still getting reps and got reps last year.
And the D line, I felt like the whole time the D line was going to be a weak spot for us. But I feel like they're holding their own. It's hard. It's still hard to run against Georgia.
Yeah,
if you make a team make them one dimensional, then.
And we've developed talent so well over the last few years that it's hard to imagine that if you've been in those rooms and in those practices over the course of 2 to 3 years or even a year or two, if you're freshman, sophomore, that you're not getting better. It's hard to imagine that you're not getting better over that time. So,
right.
But it's still really early in the year. So, my thing is I just enjoy watching the game and I don't sweat it. I'm in a group text with a couple buddies. They also went to Georgia, and it's the same every year. Early in the year, we start out slow, and the group text fires up. We're terrible. We're going to lose 3-4 games this year. We can't move the ball. We can't do this. We can't do that. And I'm constantly like,
tap the break.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm not going to call those two fellas by name. They occasionally listen, but
they'll know who they are.
Yeah, if y'all got problems with what I'm saying, hit me up on Facebook. Big Ugly Sports.
At Adam Hightower.
At Adam Hightower.
Yeah, we'll take all the emails we can get. But
stay off my personal page.
What we're going to stay Georgia real quick because we're not discussing this game in our picks later. But UAB coming to Georgia this weekend. Georgia's minus 42.
The Difflers,
the Trent Diffler and the gang are coming after losing to Georgia Southern last week. So losing to little brother.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
42 is a lot. What is it? 42 even?
Minus 42. Yep.
Gosh, they didn't. Georgia didn't cover versus Ball State. They didn't cover versus South Carolina. I can't remember if they covered versus the first team. Who did they play?
UT Martin.
Yeah, I don't remember if they covered. I'm gonna take UAB in the points.
Taking 42. Okay. Georgia big though.
Georgia big.
All right. In college football, before we talk some Braves baseball, Alabama Hight. Is the dynasty over? Is the era of complete dominance when you think Alabama over?
Here's the thing: they had a great run, but there's definitely a chink in the armor. Throughout Saban's run, they never had a situation like this that I can recall. And somebody may have a better memory. I'm notorious for not having a great memory. However, they barely beat South Florida last weekend. Yeah, what was the score in that game?
17-3, but 3-3 at half, and
it was awful. And that's not normal. And you have to think things are not the same. So either the OC is refusing to mold the offense around Milroe. He's obviously the most talented guy they got. Dude can run like crazy. I mean,
did he play any against South Florida?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came in
after they weren't doing anything. Mm-hmm. So is he the starter this week? You think?
Yeah, he is. He's already been named as a starter this week. So, I mean, you'd have to. I mean, it seems like the OC would kind of tailor the offense around his skill set. But if you've been running stuff with Bryce Young, he and Jalen Milroe don't have the same skill set. So maybe there's a little transition there. I don't know, but I definitely think that it's this year. They're not going to be a factor in the SEC West. I don't think.
Which is hard to think. I mean, I can't remember the last time where you didn't just go ahead and almost pencil in. I know they didn't play in it last year, but you didn't just pencil them in to be the team to beat and the team to do it on.
Well, every preseason, not everybody, a lot of people were picking Alabama to win the SEC. Well, they didn't win it last year, even with a first-round quarterback draft pick. They don't have that. Definitely don't have that at QB this year. They've already lost one game, so barely beat South Florida. There won't be a factor. Nick Saban, man, he's getting on up there. It might be time for him.
All right, let's answer this before we go to a commercial break here in a minute. If, let's say, Alabama loses, is there a number of games that Alabama loses this year where Nick Saban hangs it up after this year? Now, I don't know. He could have easily signed I don't know his contract situation.
He can retire anytime he wants.
Let's just say, is there a certain number of games where they get to that number and he's like, all right, that's it?
I couldn't imagine him just quitting like that and saying, dang, I'm done. I would think that if Saban wants to go out on his own terms, because that's just like, I see him as that kind of a dude. So if they have a terrible year, I can only imagine he would.
Let's say 7-5.
No, he'll be back. They'll be back. What they'll be doing is they'll find the NIL, and then they'll go find the best quarterback in the country, and then he'll transfer in, and then they'll be
right back where we were.
Back next year.
I don't know. He's about was he mid-70s now? Probably.
Yeah,
he's got to be thinking about time with the fam, and
if he ain't worried about his family by now, he's not going to.
That's fair. So, all right, stay with us when we come back from the commercial break. We're going to talk a little Braves baseball, and then in the final segment, we're going to break down this week's college football games. A lot of good games to talk about. So make sure you stay with us. For all of your commercial and residential real estate, as well as property management needs, give Premier Properties of Dublin a call at 478-274-1606. Their customer service is unmatched, and I can personally guarantee that they will work with you to get you the deal that you want. Again, that's Premier Properties at 478-274-1606.
This is Brad Meeks, owner of Brian's Giant Subs. Thanks for listening to the Big Ugly Sports Podcast. Come see us today to grab your favorite sub, 1632 Veterans Boulevard in the Oaks Shopping Center, Dublin, Georgia.
Are you tired of overpaying for your cable? Do you feel like you're not getting your money's worth? I've got just the solution for you. J2 Streaming Services. With over 9,000 live channels and packages starting at $15 a month. Visit www.j2streaming.com.
Bank of Dudley is proud to sponsor the Big Ugly Sports Show. Wherever you're listening to your favorite sports show, you can also be banking with your favorite bank. Bank of Dudley offers mobile and online banking platforms to make managing your money easy. Get on that Bank of Dudley bus. Bank of Dudley since 1905, member FDIC.
Big Peach Car Wash, located across from Walmart on Highway 80. They will be breaking ground soon. Make sure for all your car washing and vehicle needs to stop by Big Peach Car Wash, located across from Walmart on Highway 80. Blackshear Beverage with 2 locations, located in the Cordele area on Highway 280 and Georgia 300. For all your beverage needs, be sure to stop by Blackshear Beverage.
Welcome back to the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. Chill and Hight here. Short staff this morning, but we are here talking over the break, guys. If you're, it's real hard to do this show with 2 people. Like, the comedy aspect is essentially taken out.
Chuck's not funny. That's the main problem.
That is a major issue. I don't have a mullet to talk about either. And you don't have Raji's big sloppy behind over here to fire in, or Law just hammering down on his ice and saying dumb stuff. So
do you want me to fire off some things that are like, you want me to sound real confident when I say it, but then
or
they
if you
turn
got
out to be false?
Anything about these two that because when you're not here,
but and this is what I was talking about last week. I'm not one to like just really run people down.
Here we go.
But I will say I had so many people mention how much they enjoyed that episode last week, where literally for 30 minutes it was Bash Height.
Noah Garto pulled me over to the game and said that he felt like that was
He pulled you over to the game?
Mm-hmm. At the game, pulled me over.
To the side?
Yep.
Pulled you over to the side?
Yep. He said that was the best 30 minutes of the show that we've had in a long time, because it was just drilling you.
Yeah. And my dad my dad enjoyed it too, and he came in there. We were at my brother Opie's house Sunday for his little girl's birthday party, and my dad comes in and he's like, I really didn't know that's how you were. But that's a different side I'd never seen. And I was like, Daddy, these people, you can't trust anything they say.
Or can you?
Well, here's what I told him. I said, there is a small bit of truth in basically everything that is said, and then it's all fabricated and stretched out to make it. That's the behind the scenes stuff that people that are not in show business like we are, they don't understand.
They wouldn't understand.
Yeah, they don't get it.
So here we are. Be funny.
I like I said, I'm not. It's hard for me to do that because I don't really run people down that way. I'm more of a positive.
I'm an uplifter. Now you don't run people down.
I'm an uplifter, Chuck.
So, so I text Height last night in the group. We were like, it's just me and him. should we wait and have the show? Raji and Mitch could do later in the week, a Thursday or Friday, but I had to stand firm on the fact that the handful of listeners that we do have enjoy the show on a Wednesday, and I know at least I can think of 5 people at least right now. Sure. They're going to be disappointed if the show's not out on Wednesday. So that's why we're here. We're battling, but the comedy aspect is just going to be low.
I was thinking the show, the quality of the show is better when we got a full staff, and those people, that 4 or 5 people, they would appreciate getting that full staff and a better quality show
at the expense of the meeting the deadline.
Yeah, instead of just hearing me and you.
Yeah.
Which the energy is down this morning because we don't. I don't know.
It's just 2 of us. Well, those people, those loyal listeners, we need your feedback on a week like today where we can't get it in by our normal Wednesday morning. Where are you at on a Thursday or Friday show going forward? Yeah. Or we just got a battle and we got to get this thing in.
It's
earlier.
Quality over consistency, I suppose.
I like consistency, Height.
Okay.
So, text Height last night, after we decided to do the show, hey, man, here's what we're going to talk about. We got these football games. We had already picked that for our picks earlier in the week, and I said, a little Braves baseball and another category we're going to do. Well, when he gets here this morning, during that previous commercial break, as I transitioned off air to, hey, let's talk some Braves baseball, eat up a little time with some Braves baseball, his response was,
I was like, well, if you kept on me to talk about the Braves, and I've only recently watched a couple games, I was like, we're going to be in trouble.
Is that a time issue or is that a Valley Sports issue? Where are we at?
No. I've got J2 streaming, so there are no viewing issues. Everybody knows J2 streaming. You can get every channel in the world.
The world, Craig.
The world. So, no,
in case y'all missed that, J2 streaming, if you didn't hear commercial break, bus sponsor. Can't beat it. You
can't.
Probably benefiting the most from our sponsorship, if I had to guess.
But I'm personally benefiting from J2 streaming. So.
Shout out Jazz. Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, so I watched last night. It was getting out of hand. We turned the channel and I fell asleep. So I've been having a tough time here last week and a half, 2 weeks of falling asleep about 9:30 every day.
What about when we make that playoff run?
I guess I'll have a cup of coffee like Mitch did with the Marines, but I'll have my cup of coffee at the house.
So let's to the Braves. All right,
and let me throw a jab at Raji because Raji had a cup of coffee at West Georgia when he was not a preferred walk on,
like Eddie.
Eddie was full scholarship at West Georgia.
Wow,
Eddie was actually an athlete. Raji's not an athlete. And then he.
So Raji's dad was like the AD at Blakely. You think that had a lot to do with him getting on to West Georgia, probably?
Yeah, well, that everybody that I've talked to. And from
a lot of people
from Blakely County, all the people that I've talked to down there, they said that he was one of the worst kids on the football team, but because his dad's who he was able to provide him with some starting, some reps, sense. Some snaps. Yeah. So,
what did he do at West Georgia?
He had a cup of coffee. It was decaf, and
not even calf.
No, just decaf.
Yikes.
And he was there for a couple practices, and then he quit, and then he.
You reckon he quit because his reps weren't where he wanted them?
I think the story that was told to me through West Georgia people was they did bull in the pen.
In the bull in the ring?
Yeah, bull in the ring.
Pen too.
Well, if you're from East Dublin, it's pen.
Okay.
And
pig in the pen.
Yeah, for him for sure, pig in the pen. And he got roasted a couple times. Coach kept calling out numbers. He didn't.
Roasted pig.
Yeah. Hey, there's the comedy.
There we go.
Wow, this is tough. But anyway, yeah, and then he had snot bubbles and cried and walked off, and that was it. And that was the end of his time at West Georgia. That's what I've heard.
Big 58 over there.
That's what I've heard.
If anybody can validate that, I believe it. I believe it to be true.
Yeah,
because I know you don't put people down. So
no.
So it has to be facts. You wouldn't say that at his expense.
There's nothing fabricated about that.
Man, that's tough.
Did not fabricate it. That's not one bit of that.
Decaf coffee. That's tough. Tough on Raj.
Then he was this is out of Raji's mouth, so this is straight from the source. Then he spent 3 years as a probationary member of some fraternity. They would never let him be a full-time member for some reason. So I don't remember exactly.
And then you remember he tried to defend us because we made fun of him for being in a frat. about how he had to buy his friends and things like that. Well, then he said that they wanted him so badly in it, they didn't even charge him to pay. Like, he still has outstanding dues with them. But
He's bragging about owing people money.
because of
Which is not a surprise to me, because most of the time when he loses bet, whenever he lost a bet to me, it would take him months to pay it. And that's why we had to put in the Raji rule, where you have a
got
month.
a deadline.
You have 1 month to pay the bet, or we start accruing interest.
That's right. No other friend group has to do that unless he wouldn't pay. He owes me 20 as we speak. So is it a month?
It's a month, yeah.
I may not remind him because he's not going to listen to the show. Remember, he don't listen to the show if he's not here.
Yeah. But then he said that last time, but then he did say, I listened to the show and it was good.
He'll probably give up through the first segment. It was kind of dry, a little UGA football.
Yeah, he don't want to hear that.
So we miss you, Raj. But
I don't.
With the Braves in a struggle right now, got swept by the Marlins. I mean, bullied by the Marlins, and then dropped last night. Obviously, we're doing this on Tuesday morning, so they will have played another game by the time the show airs. But dropped last night to the Phillies again, and is it time? And you chalked up. I even heard the announcers on TV, Jeff Rancourt, I'm talking about it. You chalked up the Miami trip as, hey, you know what? We've battled all year long. We clinched the division. Now we're flying down to Miami.
But we're at home versus the Phillies now.
Right. So, but the Miami was, hey, let's go hang in the pool. Let's have a good time, and we'll kick back up on Monday with the Phillies. And then,
which I did hear some people say, and they were predicting that before they went to Miami. And they were like, this much series may be a kind of a letdown series because the foot may come off the gas a little bit, so to speak, and they may be relaxing and enjoying what they've accomplished.
And the Phillies, man, they're tough. They're granted there's a big gap between us and them in games, but they're playing really good baseball.
And they're fighting for a wild card spot.
And I think they're first in the wild card. So
yeah, and so you don't want to have any type of momentum. You don't want to give up momentum to the Phillies. They're the ones that put us out last year.
Right. And I would not be surprised if we play them again at some point in the postseason.
Well, if things go like I looked last week, and the Braves have the first round bye, and it would be the Phillies, and I can't remember who they were projecting to be the other wild card team. But if the Phillies win the wild card series, then they would play the Braves in the second round.
That would be a fun series to watch. The Phillies lineup is really good on paper, and then they've got a few. You got Nola who's going to do him, but Zach Wheeler's just tough, and he dealt last night against the Braves. So,
as a Braves fan, I have developed a fear of other lineups. I look at the other team's lineup and I'll say, man, they're too good for us to beat. We can't score with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to remind myself, which it's been a little bit easier this year because we have been so prolific on offense. We're just hitting bombs and scoring runs all over the place. That our offense, our lineup is really, really dangerous as well. So
that's what I was wondering.
We can score with anybody.
Do you think other Mets fans, Phillies fans, like dread?
They for sure.
Look at the
sure.
Braves
Frank
lineup.
Frank the Tank is he's how other people feel about the Braves.
I saw the other day, and it could have been old age. It might have just been rerun, but he listed the top 5
most hated.
Yeah, and Braves were first.
Yep.
I did not anticipate the Braves.
I did.
Being on that list.
I knew they would be on his list because he's such a big Mets fan, and we've been a thorn in their side for so long.
They got a sad side, or
it is sad for them for sure.
A sad side. So, all right, well. Maybe the Braves could regroup. Only a handful of games left in the last couple of weeks of the season, so I'm not really worried. I think our pitching's going to kind of pick back up, and the bats are always going to be there. So we're World Series or bust.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Mitch would probably have some outlandish take right here, where he'd be talking about how the Braves have won more games in the history of baseball than any other team, and all kind of other stuff, and then one of us would fact check it, and we'd all laugh, and he'd crunch his ice, and we'd move on.
But the number he throw wouldn't even be close. It'd be probably like 150.
He would say, here's what he'd say: the Braves are on pace to win 180 games this year.
Oh boy, hey, that was funny, Height.
Nah, I'm trying. It's hard when you're.
It's a lot, but one thing you're gonna learn, and again, you don't bring people down. But one thing you're gonna realize, Well, at the expense of other people, it's usually where some comedy falls in. Like you took a shot at Mitch right there, and I mean, I'm laughing from the hip.
I mean, that's what the listeners like. They love for us to make fun of each other. They love for us to argue. We haven't had a lot of arguing lately, but we have been, normally I'm the one that gets made fun of. Do you want to take some shots or?
Well, the mullet looks good.
I mean, last week you single-handedly
I recapped a trip.
for 30 minutes ran me down.
I told facts from a trip. That's all I did. Now, if that came off as being run down, then that's on you. Yeah. So, all right, we've got it's time to talk a little college football in our last few minutes here of the show. We've got a celebrity guest picker, somebody you know all too well. Do you remember the games? I see you looking right now at my screen.
I just wanted to make sure we had Colorado, Oregon.
Oh yeah, they're on there. There's most of these are top 25 matchups. So we've got some would argue him mainly that he's the pride of Buddy Johnson Road, and he's been on the show before, and he's probably our most loyal fan who looks forward to it every week, and that's Opie Hightower, who we're about to call. And before we even get him on the phone, though, he had to make a point to text us. And I know your phone's dead, but to let us know to give him a heads up because he was at the gym, and he has a knack for just letting people know when he's at the gym. Like in a group text, he's going to go out of his way to let you know he's at the gym. So
he will do that, but I like to encourage him and tell him that I love to hear it when he's at the gym because he needs to be at the gym. He needs it badly. Needs to mostly be on the treadmill.
And he said he didn't want to be breathing heavy, so that's why I had to text him a while ago, give him a 5-minute heads up.
I'm sure he's not doing cardio.
Let's dial him up, see if one Opie Hightower will answer.
Hello,
is this the pride of Buddy Johnson Road?
the one and only.
Okay.
Here we go.
You're not breathing hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty in shape.
Hadn't got to the cardio aspect yet.
In shape.
All right. You want to tell your brother hello this morning?
Morning, Oak.
Morning, Adam.
It's been
Y'all having a good show?
Not a lot of comedy. But we address that. It's just hard with two people.
Especially, and I just want to point it's hard when Chuck is funny. He really is funny, but he's hard to make fun of. And so,
and then, Adam don't bring people down. He told us
I'm
that.
an uplifter.
So he's an uplifter. So it's kind of hard. It's just he's not real big on bringing. He's not real big on laughs at other people's expense. So
Right.
that's common knowledge.
So are you in your truck right now, just sitting there?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Saigon Noodle House right now.
And then when we get off,
thinking about powering up after that good workout you just had.
You got a carb load, man. It's part of a healthy diet.
Oh, are you heading back in when we get off?
Yeah, I got to finish up a couple sets.
Man, what
we working today? You're probably
You're
probably big into abs right now. Back and buys. That's good. That's good. Backs and buys. Good.
All right, Opie. Let's. We're gonna go through. We'll give our picks right here. We'll start. Adam, you can bring us out the gate right here. And this is, and Raji's already sent his picks in. I'm not going to discuss them, but who he's taking here. But Florida State -1.5 at Clemson, and I think that number might have went down a little bit based on how they look.
Well, here's the thing. You got FSU who's been rolling. They look great. They've got all these guys on offense that are hitting on all cylinders, and they go play at BC in the red bandana game, which is an emotional atmosphere for the BC players. And then you got FSU looking ahead to Clemson. I feel like that was a classic trap game situation. I think the Noles win big. Clemson's quarterback situation or offensive situation has not been good. I'll take Noles big here.
When you say big,
14
double
points.
digits.
Yeah.
Okay. Opie, who you like? FSU -1.5 at Clemson.
That's a good pick, Adam. I want to pick Clemson because I think the country's overreacting to how bad they are right now. I think the narrative is spinning against them. They're against Dabo because he won't go into the transfer portal. But I don't think they're as bad as they think they are. But I believe in good quarterback play, and I agree with you. Last week was a trap game. I still have Florida State because the number's so close. Jordan Travis is the real deal. I believe in him.
I agree with Jordan Travis being the real deal. However, I think at Clemson, I wish it wasn't a noon game. That bothers me a little bit. But I don't know. I'm just rolling with Clemson. I think
if that were a night game, it would be a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it's still going to be a fun game, but not.
You picking Clemson makes me feel so much better about my pick.
That's why I did it. But my buddy, I still believe in. I still believe in Nick Eason, D-line coach over there, and obviously he only coaches the D-line. But I believe Dabo. I believe in Dabo. They're gonna have a game plan ready, and I think that although it was an emotional game last week, and all those things you said, those are accurate. I believe it exposed some chinks in Florida State's armor, and I think Clemson's going to capitalize on that. And I agree with Opie. I think after the week one, and Duke's turned out to be a pretty decent football team. It's not when you think Duke, you think bad football, but
they're a football school this year.
They're a football school this year, so I think that loss was magnified more, and I think they're not as bad as they think. So I'm predicting Clemson. I'm predicting Clemson to win that game. So, all right, next game, Auburn going to the SEC here a little bit. Auburn +7 at Texas A&M, and I took these lines off of ESPN over the weekend. They could have changed. Opie, who you like? Auburn +7 at A&M.
So short and sweet. Connor Wegman's a playmaker. Auburn isn't good. I got 8.
I don't even know whose name you just said. That shows you how much I paid attention to them.
I was very disappointed in A&M going to Miami and getting blown out the way they did. However, I don't think the Hugh Freeze era has really been able to take hold yet. So I don't think he's got his players in. I don't think his system is he hadn't got to utilize the NIL stuff and get guys in yet. And he is a good coach. I think he's going to be fine at Auburn, but I think I'm going to take the Aggies this week.
War Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
The real War Eagle.
Yeah. So you're taking Auburn?
I'm going to take Auburn, yep. So y'all feel good about y'all's pick again. I've got Auburn.
Do you really think these are your picks, or are you just going against everybody?
No, I've already got. Look, I've already listed them right here.
Okay.
Clemson, Auburn. That's my first 2 out the gate. So I did my homework as far as putting them down. So
you still got our running totals?
Yeah. Well, I don't have last week, so I got to go back and calculate those. So okay. I took a hit again. I'm pretty sure, but we'll get there. But Opie, hang with us real quick. We're going to pause for a quick commercial break. If you're on 35, make sure you hang with us. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. We're dead in the middle of making our picks for this week, and so make sure you listen to these guys, not me. My record's been bad, but a couple of these guys. And Opie trying to run down Jay Bridges for the best record so far at 7-3 as our celebrity guest picker.
That's a tall task.
And all these games Opie's got are a lot of top 10 games, so that makes it even more difficult. Jay had the first week, a lot of blowouts and different things like that, but Breezy needs an upper hand every now and then. All right, we got Kentucky -13.5 at Vanderbilt. This was the one game I believe that's not top 25, but it was SEC. So
I'll take Kentucky.
Shout out to Eric Jackson over there for the Kentucky Wildcats,
former West Lawrence linebacker.
Who you got, Oak?
I can't believe Kentucky's getting 13.5 points against anybody, but Vandy's defense is kind of like Adam's haircut. The back end is a mess. They gave up 40 to UNLV, so I'll take Kentucky.
Nice, Opie. I like it.
The back end of my hair is magnificent.
Now, question, Adam, did Opie shoot from the hip, or was that a plan?
No, he wrote that on a napkin yesterday. He'd been brainstorming, knowing that this was coming.
Oh, boy, that was good to me. All right, I'm taking.
Do you got any more one-liners coming, or we just need to wait and see?
You just wait and see.
Never know.
I got something coming for Chuck. You'll never know when it's coming though.
Oh, so you're not? I thought you were from the hip. Okay,
yeah, definitely not a hip guy.
It was from the hip yesterday.
Right, when you were ready, then. All right, I took Kentucky also. I think they cover at Vandy. I don't think Vandy's that good. All right, here's a big one, Height. Colorado +20.5 at Oregon. A lot of points for the Buffaloes.
+20.5.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm
surprised by that.
It's 21 now, but we're going to leave it at 20.5.
I'm very surprised that it's 20.5.
There's a reason, I guess.
Travis Hunter's out. You're going to find out what Colorado is really made of. 20.5 is a lot. Jeez.
Got to take.
I'll take
The way you're
Colorado.
talking about it, you got to take Colorado.
I'll take Colorado.
Opie is.
I mean,
Go ahead.
head to head, Oregon's definitely the pick. But Adam's right. 20.5 points is a lot of points for a team that's playing much better than I thought they would. And Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. But Travis Hunter's out, so the defense is going to suffer, and he'll be out for multiple weeks. I think they're riding high on a couple of bad teams. And I got a 37-year-old Bo Nix in his 12th season of college football beating Colorado.
That one didn't land as good as the one before.
I like it, but you're taking Oregon.
Yes.
Okay.
Oregon
I like it.
and the points.
And the 37-year-old Bo Nix.
I guess the spread. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
Oregon. You're saying
He's saying Oregon covers.
Oregon covers?
They 3 touchdowns or better. Yep.
Okay.
He gave a good reason why though. I mean, he backed it up with some from the hip again. That's good, Opie. I'm taking Colorado. I just think that's too many points. And I mean, Prime said the other day when asked who the best coach in college football was, he said, "Give me a mirror." So
those are the kind of things that I don't care for out of Dion. I do think he does a lot of really, really good things, but when he does stuff like that, come on. I mean, you've been the head coach at Jackson State for 2 years, right, or 3 years, and you've won 3 games at Colorado, which that is a miracle in itself, and they're about winning games at Colorado.
But it don't necessarily make you the best college football coach.
They beat TCU, which was highly overrated. They beat Nebraska, and no offense, Matt Anderson, big Nebraska guy. You know, Nebraska's not good. They're a dumpster fire. And then they beat Colorado State.
Barely. Who's bad?
And they fired Mike Bobo as their head coach, and everybody knows. Everybody, all these football experts, they all claim that Bobo's a terrible head coach. Right. So if he was good enough to be at Colorado, that place is terrible. So why are we hanging our hat on beating Colorado State?
Great question. But I take Colorado too. I think that's a lot of points. Roger went with Oregon. All right, real quick right here because nobody really cares about this one. UCLA +5 at Utah Hight. What you like there?
Utah.
All right, so we don't know if Cam Rising's going to start a quarterback yet, but UCLA is kind of like Jay's fight record in college. He won a few in a row, but hadn't really been tested. The Utes are tested. UCLA yet, and I'll take the Utes.
Oh my!
But just to be clear, Jay was never enrolled in college during his college fight career.
He was fighting English pretty hard when he was at Bruton Parker.
He did have a cup of coffee at Bruton Parker, and he
just enough to get some student loans.
Well, yeah, and bless him. I don't know how much I can share here on air.
As much as you want. Go for it.
He might get mad and kick me out the bird field. He oftentimes would need my help with his college assignment when I was in college, and he would have
heavy tutoring.
But you know the thing, his assignments. I remember when I was in 7th grade, I was in the gifted class at East Lawrence, and we had something called the weekly readers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would do weekly readers. Now he was probably a 20-year-old freshman at Bruton Parker. Still couldn't hit a curveball, but he was at Bruton Parker trying to play baseball and live out his dreams. And he would bring me his weekly readers, and I would have to help him. I would have to help him with his writing assignments.
Oh, Jay, baby. Oh, sure.
He told me, he said, my teacher was so proud. She said she could really tell that I had grown a lot as a writer.
Oh, Jay, baby. All right. Ole Miss +6.5 at Alabama. This is going to be a good one. Opie, lead us off right here. Ole Miss +6.5 at Bama.
Adam, what do Bama and Chill have in common right now?
I don't know.
They're both sitting in a slump right now. Bama is reeling.
That was good, Opie. That was a good one.
Better at quarterback, and they will run the football with a vengeance this week. Saban will have them back. I'll take Bama.
Okay, I like it.
I'm sorry, that was good. I forgot who they were playing because that was so good.
Ole Miss getting 6.5.
Ole Miss +6.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Ole Miss.
I am too. I think I think they're in a bad spot, and I think they're going to play a good football team this week, and I think they're going to be exposed. And I just think Ole Miss is going to be a tough, and I think Ole Miss wins anyway. Arkansas +18 at LSU.
He had something decided against it.
Well, time constraints. Yep. So Ole Miss. I mean, I'm sorry, Arkansas.
I'm sure it was very insightful.
Arkansas plus 18 at LSU. Height. Arkansas plus 18 at LSU.
Give me LSU. Arkansas lost to BYU last weekend. LSU put up 41 on Mississippi State. I'll take LSU.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Sam Pittman. I can't stand Brian Kelly, but I trust him more in big games. LSU at home under the lights. It's a 7:00 game.
in Sam Pittman, I trust. I take Arkansas with the points. All right, Oregon State minus 2.5 at Washington State. It's a top 25 matchup. Nobody in our circle of listening to this is really going to care about this game, but
Let me go Oregon State minus 2.5.
okay. Oh,
It's kind of a toss up, 2.5 points. Both teams are combined 1-5 against the spread, so I wish I could pick neither. But since I had to pick one, I go Cougars in the upset at home. Lots of yards, lots of points.
nice.
Man, Opie, you are a natural.
He's insightful. He's our bear. He's the bear.
Do you have this written down, or you're just remembering off your head or whatever?
100% written down.
You got to see it in person to know the magic.
He's on speakerphone right now, and he's scrolling through his notes.
He's got a Parish Construction legal pad that he has written down with bullet points.
Oh, I'll take DJ Unga and Oregon State. So I'll take them to cover. All right, big one right here. Ohio State getting a test. They're minus 3 at Notre Dame. Height, lead us off right here. Ohio State at Notre Dame.
This is one of those heart versus head battles right here because I really want Notre Dame to win because I hate Ohio State so much.
Hate Notre Dame too, but just Ohio State.
But so when Notre Dame they came to Athens, the Notre Dame fans were really nice. So I got I got a little bridge for you. Built a little bridge there. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Notre Dame in the upset here.
Okay, all right, with Notre Dame. What about you, Oak?
All right, I love Rudy, one of the best sports movies ever made, and I hate the Buckeyes more than almost any team in college football. They are the worst university. But Notre Dame's 0-4 against the spread, so give me the Buckeyes.
Okay, I like it. Rudy, let out with Rudy. I do like that. I think Ohio State also, I think they're just going to be too good. I do think Sam Hartman helps Notre Dame helps them to be a lot better, but I just think at Ohio State, or it's at Notre Dame, never mind, but I still think Ohio State covers.
I don't feel great about that pick, but I had to.
All right, last one, one that nobody cares about. Iowa plus 14 at Penn State. The Hawkeyes at Penn State. Opie, lead us off with that one.
All right, James Franklin once said he only hires coaches with hot wives because he wants winners, and I agree with that. I respect that. I think Penn State's going to win but 14 is a big number. The over is 40 points, and I just don't see how those numbers work out. So I think Iowa plays tough like they always do and keeps it closer than they think. So I'll take Iowa in the points.
Closer than the experts think, huh? All right, Height. I love the synopsis each of each.
I keep waiting on him to say "not so fast, my friend."
I almost had that.
You almost had that written down.
The show's getting big. I'll probably get caught for copyright infringement if we did that. There's too many people listening right now.
Well, you got to come up with your own
catchphrase
punchline then.
Gosh, I want to go.
I love how these Adam acts like these picks keep catching him off guard, like he don't know what, like he's surprised that he's getting them, even though I sent him out in a text.
Oh, this game, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I guess after he hears your breakdown, it kind of makes him start.
It throws a wrench in everything I'm thinking because you spin it so well, Ope. Who'd you pick, Opie?
I picked Iowa.
You picked Iowa on the points. I'm gonna go Penn State.
14 points.
All right, I got Penn State as well. I believe, yeah, I got Penn State to cover. So, all right, Opie, good luck. 7-3 is going to be tough to beat. Do you feel good about the possibility with those picks?
You picked opposite of me almost every time, so I'm feeling so good right now.
That's a safe play. All right, Oak, man, we appreciate your time and can't wait for you to listen to yourself talk on the show tomorrow.
Oh, so excited.
See you, bud.
See you.
See you, Oak.
All right, well, that
wraps us up.
That wraps us up right there.
Yeah.
Bring us home, Height.
All right, be sure to give us a subscription on YouTube, likes, subscriptions, and we also need you to hit us up on Instagram and Facebook and thebiguglysportshow.com.
We gave you our goals last week on our 1 year anniversary. We want to double down on pretty much social media and our followers on YouTube. So if you're listening and you're not following, do us a favor, go follow. If you're not following us on Facebook and Instagram, go follow. We appreciate your support. We are the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties. We'll see you next week. Whatever you're doing, get on that bus.
So proud. Can't hear a thing cause he always talking loud. Chill swear he fire, but that hangout time is weak. He really just blow that he need a hairpiece. Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, they call me Big Raji. Yeah, but sometimes in they cut, they call me Bevo Lottie. We stay with the facts that you know we gon' discuss. Fussing or fighting, yeah, we get up on that bus. Yeah.